Hey there, welcome in. I'm so glad to have each and every one of you here. And so I certainly want to know, have you already enrolled in the Idol Academy? Or are you joining me because you want to check it out? Or maybe you have questions? Or maybe you just want to learn more? So definitely let me know, like, what brings you here tonight to learn more about Idol Academy and our open house. We have an awesome group already. I already see 23 of you. So welcome, welcome. Let me know why you're here and if you've already enrolled. And so, yeah, let me know. Who here is here to learn more? Maybe put like a heart or something. And if you've already enrolled, then you can give me a thumbs up if you don't want to type. I want to see. Okay, there's a heart. There's a heart. Okay, so you want to learn more. Okay, good. All right. This is a good poll. Oh, we got a couple of thumbs. Okay. Yes. Okay, welcome. Okay, so we got a good mix. Most of you are here because you want to learn more about Idol Academy, what we do, how we do it, maybe a little bit more about what it means and what it takes to become an instructional designer. And of course, some of you have already enrolled and you're waiting for the next cohort to start, but I know that you also get immediate access. So I'm sure that you are already zooming around in the Academy and checking it out. And so I am here to answer any and all questions you have. And of course, I'm going to walk you through the entire program, how it works, and I also have a special announcement about a new way that we are opening up opportunities for people to enroll at this time. Okay, awesome. Oh, I already got a Q&A. All right. Will I be talking about Idle AI at all today? Well, I will let you know that we do train you in AI in the Academy as kind of, I've built, custom bot, and it's something that our faculty talks about. But as far as like launching the new Idle AI program, I will not be mentioning that today. Okay, good question. All right, what's the level of commitment? When does the next cohort start? I will absolutely answer that question. And the cohort officially begins on April 21st, but you can enroll now and you can start today, but then like the whole group will start with all the live group coaching and all that kind of stuff on April 21st. All right, beautiful. Okay, you're here to learn more. All right, so Idle on Demand, if any of you are here and you would join that program, of course, you can upgrade into our school. And so you are welcome to join us here for that. And so Idle on Demand is now officially closed. That is actually the old original version of the Idle Academy. And so it was an incredible program. It helped thousands and thousands of people, just like this new program is continuing the legacy, so to speak, right? Okay. Do this. All right, let me go ahead and share my screen. All right. So I just want to let you know what an honor it is to be here with you, because I know for a lot of you, you're exactly where I've been at a time in my life when you know that you wanted to make a change and you wanted to enter the corporate instructional design industry, the learning and development industry. And so you have a special place in my heart. I know exactly the amount of work and time and commitment it takes to make the transition, but I'm also on the other side, and I know about the endless opportunities that exist in our field. There are just so many ways to niche and to grow, and obviously to start your own business, to be a freelancer. The list goes on and on. So if you actually are transitioning to corporate instructional design, I would love to hear from you in the chat. I'm sure other people would like to know. If you're already an instructional designer and you just want to learn more and hone your skills, for sure, let us know who you are as well. And if you're some other category, let us know what that is as well. And so just so you know what we're going to cover, I want to talk about the instructional design career and job market. I think that's an important part of the decision-making process. How to land an idle job, how we actually accelerate your career, who the program is for and who it's not for. I'll give you a little tour. I'll talk about tuition and enrollment and how to prepare for our next cohort. Now, I can't really talk about the Academy as the founder without giving a little bit of a timeline. When I founded Idle Academy, it was a passion project. Really, it was a passion project to raise up people in our industry, because that was back in 2019. And our industry, it had a lot of different people in it, and most of them were accidental instructional designers. So everyone spoke a different set of jargon. Everyone had different theories and sets of design principles that they used. The level of skills and the technology varied widely. And I was running a learning design agency, and I needed talent that spoke the same language, designed in the same way, had the same level of skill sets, right, in order to run my learning design agency at the time. And so that's actually why I launched the Idle Academy, was to start building talent, for the industry, because it was fun, but also like for my own agency. So that's really the genesis of the Idle Academy. But then it became its own thing, right? Sometimes you walk a path and you don't know what's going to come out of it until it happens, right? Sometimes you take action and then you find out what it is. And I'm sure a lot of that's kind of how you guys ended up here, right? Maybe you started designing the curriculum, you started doing e-learning, and you're like, yeah, I like this. I like these tasks. I like these activities. I like what I'm doing for students. I want to do this more. Right. And so it's kind of one of those things. And so in 2020, which, as you know, with the pandemic, the Academy just kind of grew to an exponential size, where it wasn't just me doing one-on-one mentorship and training anymore. I now needed coaches and mentors to help me with the enrollment numbers. So in 2020 is when we actually added coaches and mentors, and it wasn't until 2020, we actually, like summer of that year, that we actually even started tracking our success stories. And in 2021, we found that, okay, well, we've graduated these incredible students. They're going out landing jobs at these Fortune 500s. They also, because they were raised in the Academy, and I think that learning freelance principles and how to be a freelancer and a contractor in this industry is really important. It opens up new pipelines for income. It opens up new projects for you to spread out, get more creativity, or just learn something new. I am a restless soul, so I always want to learn something new. And so we have a bunch of people who are trained in freelancing and contracting, and they're like top tier instructional designers. So we opened Idle Talent as just a more formal way of getting people paid experience opportunities. As a matter of fact, paid experience opportunities was always a part of the program, but it became more formalized in 2021. That's also when I discovered the Do It Messy Jumpstart, which became part of the title of the book, which is now part of the textbook in the Idle Academy. And then in 22, I published that book, the Do It Messy book, right? And if you guys want a copy of it, I'll give you a PDF copy. Comes when you enroll in the program. But if you want a copy of the Do It Messy approach, a PDF copy, just connect with me on LinkedIn, and I will send you a copy happily. And then you'll be connected with me on LinkedIn. And that is like the easiest way to reach out to me, is to send me in mail. Beyond that, in 2023 is when we became sponsored by ELB Learning. And that's actually when we started getting a whole bunch of different partnerships. So when I get into the tools and all the things that are included, it's because of our incredible partners that include the tools in our program for you, for our students. And you won't find another single program out there in the world like ours that includes all the tools and the tool training, plus all the other things, right? And so that was the start of it, was in 2023. And then in last year, our big focus was starting the accreditation application. So we are currently following the guidelines and looking to be accredited by ACCET. Now, don't quiz me and ask me what that stands for off the top of my head, but basically it's a career school accreditation. You could ask me, oh, is it recognized by the U.S. Board of Education? And I can say yes, but we don't know how much that means. But it means something right now, and we'll see how long that means something. So I'd also just am here because I want to support your why. Not only have I been where you are, um, I've helped, you know, me, the team, the company, everyone has been there to support over 3,500 graduates to become idols. And not only do we know how to get you there and to become top tier, but we know how to accelerate your journey. Why? Because we're instructional designers, right? Because we have been collecting the data, we have been monitoring, we have been studying, and we know exactly what that roadmap looks like to get you to the top tier, to be able to compete with people with many, many more years experience than you and still beat them out for the job of your dreams. And that, of course, I will tell you what that secret is later. Oh, and in case we haven't met before, I guess I should let you know who I am. I'm Dr. Robin Sargent. I'm the founder of Idle Courses. And just really quickly, these are my boys. I have 3 boys. I have my 15-year-old Mac. He's there on the left. I have my baby boy, Jack Henry. He's there in the middle. He's 7. And then I have my middle son, my second son, Soren, and he is 11. I don't know if you guys have seen things about second sons, but if you ever want to commit a crime, you want to take over the world, you always ask the second son. And I think that is very true about my second son. He is totally a middle child. So I told you I've been where you are. Now, my path might look a little different, but I was in higher education. So maybe some of you are in the K through 12 space. Maybe some of you are in higher education. But I started out as assistant dean of students at Shorter University, and they wanted to move their program from on ground in person, and they wanted to start moving it online. And so I don't know if you guys know anything about faculty, but they are Luddites. I mean, especially back then in 2011, they were scared of the technology. They were not interested in learning new tools. That whole thing was just not for them. And so it became mine. It became my job to set up the LMS to convert the in-person syllabus into an online version, to advise all the online students, train the adjunct faculty. I built out the LMS with all the decorative things, probably a little too much decorative things, little did I know. And I was like, I love this. This is what I want to do. Is there a job where like this is all I do is just instructional design and online learning? And it turns out there is a job, and it's in corporate, and they double your pay. So I did every single thing I could think of, and a lot of wrong things, in order to make that transition from being an assistant dean to being a corporate instructional designer. And gosh, I mean, it took me at least 9 months, and I built so many different things, a portfolio, a 12-page curriculum vitae. I didn't know that you don't turn in curriculum vitae to corporate. But somebody took a chance on me. I moved into corporate, and then within 2 years, I landed my first corporate instructional design role in 2012. And by 2014, I was a director of learning and development at another company. That's just how fast I was able to accelerate through this industry. And I've seen others, graduates of our own program, do just the same. I'm not an anomaly, right? And I also want to let you know that I got my PhD after I was the director of learning and development. So it's not like I landed my job because I had a PhD in instructional design. And if anybody knows about going to grad school, you know that you're not going to really learn hands-on skills for a corporate job going to grad school. So I actually got my PhD because I wanted to be a president of a university after I made my money in corporate. That was my plan. It was just kind of like a bucket list thing. I wanted to get a PhD, become a university president. Little did I know that I would start the first and only career school in our industry, and really become that president, right? Like I said, right? You start down a path, you have no idea how that's going to turn out, right? It's better than you can imagine, I would say. And, I can tell you about my story, but I think numbers tell a story too, right? That 2012, that's when I was the assistant dean of students, making a whopping $35,000 a year. And then I would be an adjunct faculty member, and I made an extra 10 grand a year working 4 nights a week from 6 to 10 as an adjunct faculty member, right? So when I moved to corporate and I only had to work from like 9 to 5 and I got 2 remote days and I doubled my income, like I most assuredly changed my life. I felt like I was walking in a dream. And then in 2014, that's when I moved to a senior instructional design role at a different company. And I went up to 75K. As a matter of fact, when I started at 65K, my cubicle mate said to me, she's like, Robin, what are you making? And I said, 65,000 a year. I was so proud, so excited. She's like, And I was like, what? Well, most people actually start at 75. So I was determined that by the next time I got my next ID job, I was going to start at 75. And so I did. And that company was bought out, acquired, whatever. And luckily, in my LinkedIn email, I get a message and it says, hey, would you like to direct the first learning and development department of our company? And it was a recruiting and staffing company here in Atlanta. And I said, yes. And that's when I moved to 6 figures. And I started my learning design agency. And that was the revenue for the first year of my learning design agency. And so the thing is, you can start late, you can start over, you can lose it all and fail again and again and still succeed. And I think that's important for a lot of you to hear right now, because probably a lot of you are making a transition, right? And so it's never too late, and you can fail, and it can be hard, and you will still succeed. And the most beautiful thing that I found about learning instructional design, besides the fact that it has like changed my life, it's changed my income and opened up so many doors. The thing about it is, once you learn instructional design, you've learned a skill that will continue to grow and expand into your whole life. I know it's a big claim, but I will tell you that once I learned how to design instruction, I now understood the principles of design, which means that I could design anything. I can design my career. I can design my garden. I can design my interiors. I can design my website, my life, a school, right? And the best part about our field is that it is interdisciplinary. So you can pull in skills from education, marketing, science, right? Learning science, neuroscience, psychology, web design, UX, UI, and combine them with learning design and really just carve out a niche that keeps you in your zone of genius, right? And so really just this whole thing just lights me up just to talk about and to get excited about what you're going to enter in as you learn instructional design. So I want to show you a little bit. I want to do a little zip around about the market. This statistic actually comes from techguide.org. And the projected growth of our industry is 43% between 2021 and 2025. A little did they know about what would happen with the U.S. Board of Education and the other things that are happening in the news. AI wasn't even around when they were predicting this massive growth in our industry. And so I would say it's even bigger now, right? Because it is even more important to teach adults the skills of the jobs that they're going to have to do now and in the future, and of jobs that we don't even know about, right? The e-learning market alone was valued at $263 billion in 2023, and it is estimated to reach $933 billion by 2032. That's insane. I don't know if you guys have any clue about what a market and how many billions or whatever, but I would say that it's bigger than the furniture market. It's bigger than, I mean, just name a market. It's an insanely large market. Do your research. Go see like what are the average market sizes of something that you think is just going to be bigger than e-learning, and you will be shocked to find out that our industry is bigger than all of those industries. Yeah, so and then North America actually makes up about half of the e-learning market. So if you're in the States, it's a booming industry, and it is in the States, it's in North America that makes up half of that market. Asia actually is experiencing strong growth, so much growth, as a matter of fact, that they are enticing companies to come over there and train them in e-learning in Asian markets. Oh, oh, I missed that one. Let me go back. Just in 2022. So I don't have like last year's numbers yet. But just for training specialists, right? There's a lot of different, I'm going to show you, there's a lot of different names that they call instructional designers. One of them is a training specialist, and it depends on who you are and where you worked as far as how you would define what a training specialist is. But just a training specialist, which is usually kind of a lower tier than an instructional designer in my book. There was 385,000 jobs in the US alone in 2022, right? So this increased adoption of online learning, the amount of online schools that are popping up, the amount of ways that companies are training people through online learning, right? And so the market is growing. And not only that, the skills gap. You know how I talked about, like, there's a difference between going to grad school and actually getting skills that you need on the job. That's also true for your bachelor's degree, right? Especially if you go to like get a bachelor's degree in computers. That doesn't mean that you know how to do everything. Doesn't mean that you know how to do the programming or whatever that you need to do on the job. Instead, what has to happen? You have to go and get certifications in those things. Usually you get them online, or the company takes over, right? All these corporate universities. Why does the companies have to build these great big universities? Why do they have to have such large learning and development departments? Maybe you don't know this, but they do. And why? Because of the skills gap, because they have all this talent coming out of college, but this talent doesn't know how to do the job. And so the onus is on the companies to train them. And of course, who are those people that are building those corporate universities? It's us. It's idols. This also just kind of blows my mind a little bit. So I don't know if any of you have been in corporate. Definitely, give a shout out if you've been hanging out in corporate for a while. But you don't even get a 7% raise if you've been in the same job. All right. Usually, in order to get a 7% raise, you'd have to leave one job and go get a new job and start at a new salary. Usually, corporate raises like 1%, something like that. So the fact that our salaries across the board have raised 7% over the last 5 years, it says something about just the growth of our industry. Charles asks, how is the career market for us over 60 plus? I love that you asked that question, because I think it's valid to have concerns about, ageism or how old you are. And, are you, still a viable candidate in our industry? The thing is, if you have the skills, your age is experience in our industry, and it's actually valued. And so if you have the skills, it doesn't matter how old you are. And as a matter of fact, I would say that the older you are means that you're going to have more experience, wisdom, and we value that in the learning and development field. You will see, go look at, the thought leaders or whatever else in our industry. They're 60 plus, the Clark Quinns, the Will Tamers, and whatever else. They're a 60 plus, and that's not going to change. Okay. All right, so I just pulled like a couple of things. I just did a LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn is not the end all be all. As a matter of fact, it's very expensive to post a job on LinkedIn. Probably would have been more useful if I pulled from Indeed or whatever, but I just went to LinkedIn and I put in the term learning design in the United States. Okay, just, today got 3,000 results. Then I put in curriculum in the United States. Oh, I got 64,000 results. And then when I put in training design, I got 31,000 results. And that is just on LinkedIn. That's just today. And so just an anecdotal thing. I just wanted to show you like what our job market looks like in real time. And remember how I was talking about how instructional designers have lots of names, lots of different job titles. And as you can see, the median starting salary, right, it's around $85,000. Experience IDs do get six figures. Many of our own graduates are already in the six figures after about 2 or 3 years in the industry. And you can make six figures just as a individual contributor, right? It's just somebody that does the design and the development of the curriculum. And so, yeah, and these are all the different names you'll be able to use whenever you're doing your job search or whatever, because there really just is not one nomenclature for what we call ourselves. Where will you work? Anywhere that adults need to learn, right? Anywhere and everywhere that adults need to learn something, a job, a trade, a skill, a process, and close a performance gap, sometimes for attitudes, right? Safety, all that kind of stuff. So that's at the state level, the local level, the private, professional, scientific, finance, manufacturing, especially healthcare. Healthcare is a large part of why the e-learning market is booming, because of all the training that has to happen in that healthcare sector. And then, of course, higher education. So how do you land a job in instructional design? I'm sure you guys have done a little bit of research. You know that you have to have a portfolio, right? It's not enough to have a resume that says, I can do it. You have to show it, right? You'd think they're all from the show me state like me and from Missouri, right? It's show me. Show me that you can do it. Show me that you have the skills. And that is why the online portfolio is so paramount for you to be able to land your instructional design job. Resume and LinkedIn, right? That's kind of a no-brainer at this point. And then you also need experience. If you go and look at the job requirements, you will see that many of them ask for 3 or 5 years of experience. And that's, kind of the catch, right? That's like the paradox. Like, how are you going to get experience if you don't have enough experience to get experience, right? And then I also say you need mentorship. Why do I say that you need mentorship? What you need somebody who is already in the field who can give you feedback on your assets, on everything that you put in your portfolio. You need somebody that is in the industry to look at it. You cannot design a portfolio that is going to catch a hiring manager's eye alone in a box by yourself. Why? Because you're going to be blind. You're going to be blind to the industry standards, the things that are unknown, the things that are not quite things that, are taught, but are things that are caught, right? The things that are caught by a professional eye. Um, and I think, Nudrees brought it up, right? You're trying to transition from academia to corporate, and you lack the experience because they don't see your experience designing for higher ed as the same. And truly, it's not. I've been a senior instructional designer in higher education. I did it as a contractor and for Southern New Hampshire University. And when you are building learning for a university, you are building in a very different way. You are building according to the final project, the milestones, the learning materials that the dean supplies for you, meeting the outcomes of the degree program, right? That is very different from solving performance gaps at a company, right? So teaching somebody, the philosophy, the great philosophers, right? That's a different way of designing instruction than, everybody's getting hurt on the job. Now you got to analyze why they're getting hurt on the job. You got to figure out what they do know, what they don't know. You got to go and watch them. You've got to build some kind of intervention. It might not be online training. It might be something else. And so that's why academia doesn't directly translate to corporate instructional design and why your experience is being dismissed. They want to know that you can solve performance gaps. The most important thing in a company, and you're going to say, what do you think it is? What do you think is the most important thing for business? Go ahead, just throw it in the chat. I just want to see what you think. I want to see what your guess is. Okay, making money. Yeah, that's what I thought you'd say. It's people. It is talent. Ask any business owner. It is talent that makes or breaks the company. It is talent that brings in the money. Who's the people that goes and drives the revenue? People, salespeople, marketing people, right? And so if those people are not performing, the company is not performing. They're not going to get any ROI if it's not the people and the talent that drives the company forward. So what is the most important thing for them? It's their people. So their people have to be trained on the processes, the procedures. They have to have the skills to move the company forward to make more money. All right. So I think that you guys are kind of asking this question. How do I develop these essentials without wasting time or breaking the bank, right? Maybe, you think, designing training for HR students. But again, you're training them on, like the policies and the procedures of being an HR person, maybe, right? That's different from, let's say, for instance, recruiters are, not doing their fill ratios correctly, right? They're not placing people fast enough. That's a different type of approach. You got to go and you got to look. Why are they not, what are their fill ratios right now? How are they doing their job right now? You got to watch their job. Then you got to, talk to the people. You got to talk to the managers. You got to analyze, right? It's very different from having a standard curriculum, a standard textbook, and then just mapping out milestones, objectives that meet learning outcomes, right? It's very, very different. All right. So maybe you thought about getting a master's degree. Maybe you already have a master's degree. Give me a hands up if you already have a master's degree in instructional design, right? Or another one. Yeah, Karen's got one. And I get it. I got a couple of those myself. And the average, graduate degree, according to the National Center for Education Statistics, reports that the average degree costs $19,000 per year. How long did your master's degree take? Probably 2 years, 18 months if it was a fast track. Right? And so it used to be that you got a master's degree and it would guarantee a great job and easy entry. You'd be like, I got a master's, you put that on your resume, bada bing, bada boom, I got a job. Right? I thought the same thing when I had an MBA too. But that's not the case, is it? Right? Because companies like Google, IBM, Amazon, Apple, what are they prioritizing over degrees? Skills, right? Love it or hate it, even at the government level, they are prioritizing skills over degrees, right? That is part of the big push to remove the Department of Education because they obviously to cut funding, but also because of the emphasis on skills and not degrees, because we've been living in this skills gap for a very, very long time. Now, when instructional design hiring managers were asked, what is the minimum education required for an idle role? The hiring managers reported 65% bachelor's degree, 20%, just as long as they have a high school diploma. Only 8.9% want a master's degree. That means it doesn't matter. They don't care about a master's degree. Graduate level certificate, 5%. PhD, they don't want them. They don't want them. As a matter of fact, I am so glad I didn't go and try and find a new job after I have my PhD, because a PhD, as a matter of fact, what they see is there's a bias even against PhDs. Oh, you're just all study, no skills. Oh, you just think you know everything, but you can't actually do anything. That's the bias about a PhD. And I think some of that bias is on a master's degree in our field as well. Salary by education. Now, I will let you know that our school is the only trade technical vocational training in the industry. That's, you know, an authorized program, not a unregulated program. So the average salary by education, those coming out of Idle Academy, is $130,000 a year. High school diploma, 84,000. Some college, 84,000. Doctorate degree, less. Master's degree, less, 81,000. Bachelor's degree, 79. Professional, 75. And associate's 54. What does that tell you? It tells you that your skills are important. It is the most important thing, especially in our industry, especially with the amount of tech that you need to use and the pace at which you need to design and develop. I quit my PhD because all my friends were jobless. It's smart. It's smart. It's save your money. We have lots of stories like Amy's. I just pulled her up because, you know, it comes along with the story that I'm telling about master's programs. And Amy did the same thing, right? Amy says, I was enrolled in a master's program and I quit because I realized that after the second month, because he saw more value in Academy. And of course, she is now working as an instructional designer at Exactly Corp. So you've seen the history over, you know, these last almost 6 years of running the Idle Academy. We made a discovery, how to develop top-notch instructional designers that companies ask for. And it's not just hands-on training and experience. It's not just an impressive portfolio. It's not just one-on-one support. And it's not just social learning with a community of practice. The big secret lies in one comprehensive package. So when you have all these elements woven together into a structured yet flexible, and I would say fun, step-by-step program, it's not a program that like just teaches, but it fully guides, supports you, and celebrates you at every single milestone. And the best part, we've actually refined this formula because as a career school, our number one goal is not graduates. Our number one goal is people landing jobs, right? Whether that's your first job, a better job, you know, your first freelance client, whatever it is, that's our goal. That's the metric that I'm measuring. Are people landing jobs? How long does it take them to land a job? What kind of jobs are they landing, right? Are they top tier in our industry? That's what I'm looking for, not graduates. As a matter of fact, honestly, I mean, I probably shouldn't even say this as president of the school, but I don't care if you graduate. I care that you develop the skills and you reach your big idle goal, whatever that is for you. As a matter of fact, I'm curious what your big idle goal is. Is it to land your first job, a better job, get your first freelance client, you know, just hone your skills? What is your big idle goal? I'm curious about what that is. So I just want you to imagine for just a moment, like what it'll feel like when you land your first idle job and then only say yes to the companies and the projects that truly light you up. Because when you have the skills, you really can cherry pick. Oh, encore career after retirement. Yep. I love it. That I talk to so many teachers that have the same goal. So I can tell you all the things that you need to do to prepare and land your idle job, but no matter what, the most important component of making the transition is deliberate practice. And what I mean by deliberate practice is, this is one of our students' job aids. All right, she did it messy. She did it bold. She learned what job aids are and she made one, right? And if she would have just put this in her portfolio as it is, probably would have been looked over. Probably wouldn't have gotten those calls back for an interview from the hiring manager, right? But what is deliberate practice? She took this job aid, she turned it into our faculty. The faculty reviews it, gives her feedback, returns it to her. She implements that feedback. She asks the community for maybe another round of feedback, right? And then she updates it. But this actually came from just faculty feedback. How much better is that, right? That is the power of deliberate practice. One round of feedback from faculty members in the industry. All of our faculty are senior instructional designers or higher. And this is the amount of speed and progress you make when you do deliberate practice. It's not just instructional design. Just think about anything you've ever learned in your life. The fastest way to learn is through deliberate practice, to have a coach over you, watching your shots, if you're playing basketball, watching the way you hold the bat when you're playing baseball, whatever it is, deliberate practice is what accelerates your skills. I was going to show you before and after of the e-learning. I think it might be worth it because what's fun about it. Let's see, I got to share sound. There we go. Okay, I'll show you the before. Oh, nope, not like that. Okay.
Welcome to Hair Care 101, washing your hair. You will learn best practices for washing your hair, such as determine the correct water temperature for washing your hair, locate which part of your hair to wash, apply the correct amount of shampoo, explain how frequently one should wash his or her hair, explain how long one should leave conditioner in his or her hair, and describe healthy towel drying techniques.
Okay.
What temperature should the water be when you wash your hair?
All right, I'm bored with the first one. You guys bored? Good.
Or hot?
Oh, now let's go to the second one.
Welcome to Hair Care 101, washing your hair. Washing our hair is something we all do, but have you ever thought about the process? What temperature should my water be? Am I washing my hair correctly? How much shampoo should I use? Are these suds even doing anything? Can the way I towel dry my hair actually cause damage? Let's review the best practices for washing your hair to learn the answers to these questions. First, tell me your name by typing it in the green box. Then, click the Submit button.
Okay. So what you can see there, just from watching just a little clip of a before,
water be when you wash your hair?
Of a before and after of e-learning, right? You probably would think like, oh yeah, I'm going to make e-learning. I'm going to list all these objectives out here and just bore my learner and make them click away as soon as possible, right? But then she got feedback from the faculty and significantly improved the e-learning, right? Giving like that enticing, what's in it for me? Oh, that's interesting. Oh, I didn't know that, right? And now you're engaged and now you're continuing on in the course. And that truly is the power of deliberate practice. So obviously you guys are here because you are busy, you're time challenged, you guys have multiple different priorities. I know that every single one of you are adults. And so I just want to remember why you showed up here today. Maybe you feel uncertain. Maybe you feel stuck, right? You're trying to apply for ID jobs, right? You think that your academia experience should translate, but you're just not sure that next best move. Maybe you are just lacking confidence, right? And that's understandable, right? You can't get confidence in something unless you take action. Action comes before confidence. You have to do the job or the task until you gain confidence in that job or that task. And so obviously you got two options to consider, right? You don't make a plan, just forget about it, and then you just stays a wish, right? Or you can 100% commit to creating a portfolio and doing the work to land your corporate idle job this year using a proven roadmap and accountability program. So obviously you guys are all invited to the Idle Academy. And so, like I've said over and over again, it is the only authorized trade school in our industry and implementation program that shows you exactly how to create your job application assets, build a portfolio from scratch. It includes one-on-one mentorship, coaching, credentials, paid experience opportunities, and a guided internship as well so that you get that experience. 93% of our graduates who reported employment, right? We'd have to track these things for the state of Georgia, landed a job within 6 months of graduating. We are not just a course, we are a career accelerator. You can think of us as a master's level training program, but with hands-on application and a ton of perks. So if that gives you any insight into the level of commitment, it's real. We are not a paper mill. We really make you do all the work. So if you are an aspiring instructional designer, the Academy is the perfect place for you. We start all the way from the very beginning. If you are a newly hired instructional designer, maybe you landed the job accidentally somehow, you had a friend, or you just kind of squeezed in there, but you want to learn more. This program is also for you to take your skills up a notch. If you are a seasoned instructional designer, we have entire companies enrolled in our entire learning and development department into our school because we keep our program and our curriculum up to date with the latest trends, techniques, and tools. Of course, educators, right? Because like I said, right, your experience and your skills in education are valuable. They just don't necessarily translate one-to-one. You still need to get the experience and to build the corporate portfolio. But those skills, right, and that love of learning translates, right? It's still very, very valuable in our industry. And if you go into like the ed tech world, then they love your teaching background. As a matter of fact, you go to the ed tech world, you could just build K through 12 curriculum. Recent grads, right? So if you just graduated from a master's program in instructional design and you want the practicum, you want to learn the tech, the tools, the skills, build a portfolio, then this program is also built for you. And of course, freelancers. From the very beginning of my instructional design career, I was a freelancer. From the very first corporate instructional design job, my little cubicle buddy told me that you could go out and you could get contracts or freelance on the side and build e-learning on the side for other people. Opened my mind up, opened a whole nother line of revenue for me. And I think it's important for people who come to our career school to learn the business side of e-learning and learning and development. And so freelancers, if you want to be a freelancer, I include that training in our program as well. I got to mention like who it's not for, right? So like if you don't want to create learning for adults, if you don't want to work in corporate, and like corporate, I'm talking about a big general thing, right? Corporate, government, nonprofits, outside of the school, right? If you don't want to work outside of the school, if you're not prepared to get uncomfortable and fall into the learning pit, I hope you guys know what I mean by that. It is challenging. It will be uncomfortable. You are going to learn new things, which means that it's going to be a little difficult. That's why we have the faculty to mentor you and coach you and give you feedback, right? This is not instructional design. While anyone can learn how to do it, it is a complex field, right? We are learning nerds. That is literally what we do. And so it does require effort. And it will require that you interact with people. Now, introverts love instructional design because a lot of our job, you can be a complete introvert and it's totally fine. You can just sit at your computer and do the things. However, there are some people requirements, right? You've got your stakeholders, you got your learning and development team, right? You might have to interact with people whenever you are assessing people on the job, right? And so there is some of that interaction. I just want to make that clear. Yes, I will absolutely talk more about the paid experience opportunity. So just how you know how it works. Somebody asked about time, commitment, or whatever. So it is a 24-week guided curriculum. So we've mapped out, like, if you only have like 5 to 10 hours a week to spend, it'll take you 24 weeks. Now, can you go faster? Yes, absolutely, you can, right? But if you're a working adult and you only have 5 to 10 hours a week to put into it, then it's going to take you the full 6 months, right? And then as you work through the program, you complete 8 milestones, you submit your work and your portfolio for review. And when you submit your full portfolio and you take an assessment, then you become a certified professional in training and performance. Then you get put into the job readiness track where you learn how to stand out in the job market. And then once you have, your exceptional skills and your portfolio, then you join our successful graduates, and you also then qualify for Idle Talent, which I'll talk about more. I just want to let you know that our school is listed on job requirements, job descriptions, right? And under the skills and department required skills, Idle Academy certification. All right. So we, in like the standard plus version of the Academy, we include self-directed one-on-one advisement, group sessions, live facilitation, a guided internship experience, faculty feedback on all milestones. We include the textbook and the tools in the training. And so let me show you what tools we have. We recently added We Are Learning, which is an AI-powered interactive video creation tool. Very cool. Go check them out. That's included in your program. The entire ELB Learning Studio is included in your enrollment, and that includes Lectora, Scenario VR, and then an entire stock asset library like images, icon packs, videos, like all that stock stuff that you need in order to build e-learning. Millions and millions and millions of assets are included in the ELB Learning Studio. We also include access to Genially. Everyone gets their own Canva Pro license on our Canva campus. A little feather in our cap is that we were the first school to adopt Canva Campus. We're very proud of that, and they're one of our partners. And then we also include access to Beyond. And then we also include our community. So not only will you get the tools and the training, you also will get a network to be networked with all of our graduates. And our graduates are sitting in top companies in top positions. So it is a very, very wonderful way to kickstart your network in this industry. Many, many of our students have landed jobs because of other people in the academy referred them and said, oh, hey, come apply for this, or gave them a reference, and so on and so forth, right? Your network is your net worth. And it's very true in our industry. It's a very small industry, so the more people you know, the better. Karen says, is it okay if we have vacation plans in the coming summer? Yes, absolutely. So we give you a recommended path, but you have 12 months to do it. And you will still meet satisfactory academic progress, because we have to track that too, right? So it's a 24-week program if you're only like doing part-time, basically, right? 5 to 10 hours a week. But you have 12 months to get it done, right? And to fall within the regulations of, our school and all that other kind of stuff. So yeah, you of course can take a break and come back, right? And go on vacation. Because it's built for adults, right? I know that you guys have lives. I know that you have vacations. I know that your children might get sick or whatever else. So it's not, you don't have like deadlines, so to speak. Your deadline is 12 months. And of course, whatever your own fire is. These are the milestone credentials, and you will earn every single one of these by turning and submitting an asset that also accumulates into your portfolio. So everything's on purpose. Nothing is busy work. All right. So when you earn the instructional design badge, well, you have, you know how to design a course blueprint, right? When you earn learning architect, you know how to build storyboards. When you earn visual designer, you know the principles and you've applied them to a job aid. When you earn rapid prototyping, you've actually prototyped an e-learning course that you're then going to submit for your e-learning developer badge, right? Those are the milestones that add up to the certification. Somebody's asking about articulate storyline. We actually teach you articulate storyline. That's included in our training. You do not need to buy a license. You can get a free trial. I do not start the free trial until you are to the e-learning development portion of your program. If you want to build an asset for your portfolio in storyline. Otherwise, you will be able to use the free trial to go through the training for storyline. We also celebrate our graduates, right? So we do host virtual graduations for all of our cohorts once a year. Also, it's not just me, right? It's not just me telling you this program is phenomenal. It's not just like all of our student success stories. We've actually been stamped by Brandon Hall Group, which is a leader. It is like the top thing to be recognized for with an award. And so our program was actually awarded the Brandon Hall Excellence Award for Learning and Development Program. And we were competing with Google, okay? A little put out about the bronze thing, but then I saw Google won gold and I was like, okay. I also want to let you know that there's no risk in this, right? If you're not satisfied, if you go through our program and you graduate, you do the work and you're not proud of your portfolio, we'll give you your money back. I can't promise jobs. That's unethical. It's also against the rules and regulations of being an authorized school. But what I can do is give a proud portfolio money back guaranteed. So if you complete our program and your portfolio isn't doing it for you, wink, I'll give you your money back. Okay? So, do the work, get the results. And I mean, that's what you're going to want to do anyway, right? When you do the work and, follow along with the program that we set up for you, that's how you're going to build a portfolio that you're proud of in the first place, right? Are on-demand students eligible? On-demand students earn different credentials in that program. So, getting authorized as a career school, you can't have, the same certification for a different program, right? So that's why you have a different certification in the on-demand version than people in the career school. Hope that helps. And then we also have the career readiness track. So you get, in the regular version of the academy, you get access to career coaching until you reach your goal. That's what we want. We want you to reach your goal, right? Yes, we want graduates. That'd be nice for our numbers and our stats and, keeping, the accreditation body happy or whatever. But what we really want is we want people to land their jobs. Somebody asked, can you tell me more about the paid experience opportunities? Well, everyone who graduates from our program now qualifies to apply for idle talent contracts. Idle talent contracts start at $35 an hour and they go up based on skills and experience. Surprise, surprise. And we work on large learning projects. I mean, we have contractors build anything from like manufacturing training to software in the cloud even one of our clients builds K through 12 curriculum programs. And so we are, constantly hiring contractors from our idle talent pool. We're always looking for more idle talent contractors to join our pool. And so that's what you qualify for. And this is exclusive only to our graduates because that's the whole thing, right? That's why companies come to us, is because we have a vetted bench of contract instructional designers, which is great. because a lot of our idle talent, now we have some idle talent, like that's all they do, right? That's how they make their money, is contracting for idle talent. Maybe they pick up another job or two. But a lot of them are working full time and they contract on the side, which I love that we offer that opportunity for people. Because I used to have to scrape, beg, borrow, steal, or whatever to go and hustle to go get contracts. So the fact that just because you graduated from our program, you get access to exclusive contracts, pretty awesome. All right. Ian's just, one of our success. He worked for Idle Talent and then the client stole him. Not really stolen, right? Because it's our graduates that are working on contracts for Idle Talent. If one of our clients wants to offer one of our contractors a full-time role, we don't stand in the way of that. I don't know if you know how unique that is. Usually recruiting and staffing companies would charge a hiring fee if somebody wanted to steal our contractors, but we don't do that. We're happy to place them in a full-time job, right? Okay, so here's my big announcement. So when I kept saying like the one-on-ones in our standard version or plus version or whatever, this is what I'm talking about. And so what we've decided to open up is new ways in order for more people to be able to access our career school. So all the one-on-one stuff and everything that I mentioned is in the plus version, right? That's our $3,500 version of our program. But we have just opened, like just now, the essentials version of our program. And that is where you get everything that I've mentioned. The only thing that is not included, which is, of course, the most cost intensive, is one-on-one mentorship. So you still get faculty reviews, you still get group mentorship, you still get access to the community, the tools, the content, the yada, yada, yadas, but you don't get the one-on-ones, right? And so you can enroll in our program, and if you can get everything you need out of the community and the group coaching and whatever, as a matter of fact, the old version of the academy did not have one-to-ones, right? People were landing jobs, doing everything they needed to do through the group coaching model, right? And so we wanted to bring that as a tier, as an option for people so that it is more accessible for you. Or if you're just kind of a person that you're like, I don't need one-on-one, right? I can, I'm more of an independent person, then the essentials tier is probably better for you. And then if you are a person who is ready to rock and roll, you're ready to complete this program in 12 weeks with a VIP mentorship level, then we have a fast track. Now we only have 10 spots for the fast track because, we just want to keep that group small. But it is our other tier that is an option for you as well. Brianna, you don't have to pay the difference unless you want the fast track. And at any time, if you enroll in the essentials, yes, all of these have payment plans. As a matter of fact, I'll just skip to that part. Let me skip. I was going to say that all is included, but who cares? I think you guys know. I have payment plans available for all of them, essentially. Now I have internal payment plans like Idle will give you a payment plan for the essential version and the plus version. For the fast track, the only way you can get a payment plan for that is through Climb. So if you want to finance your tuition for the fast track, Climb is your only option. I don't have an Idle courses payment plan for the fast track. Can we enroll in the essentials and upgrade? Yes. As a matter of fact, if you enroll in the essentials and you're like, I do want the one-on-one mentorship, then there'll be a link where you can pay the difference. And that'll give you one-on-one mentorship for 12 months as part of your program, which is pretty incredible. I mean, go and try and find a one-on-one coach to help you into this career field, and you're going to pay a heck of a lot more money than $1,500. Can you upgrade from the on-demand bootcamp to the essentials? Absolutely, Jenna. All you have to do is just shoot us an email. I'll put it in there, info@Idle Courses, and they will take care of you. Do you have people from other countries? Yes. Yes, I do. We've got lots of people from other countries in the talent pool, because what's beautiful about having people from other countries, as long as like usually it just depends on the client. You know, some clients have like tax and whatever types of regulations, and so they need their contractors to be US based. But a lot of our clients they don't care about that. It doesn't come into play. And the beautiful thing about having people work in idle talent from other countries is basically we can have a 24-hour design and development cycle, right? Because of the time difference. So yes, definitely, certainly. And we even have faculty from all over the world for the same reason, right? Because we want faculty that are in other time zones to help support our students. What's the difference between on-demand? Oh, well, a lot. I mean, well, first of all, on demand is not available anymore. But the difference is the amount of tools, the program step by step, the credentials, the certification, the support, and the entire platform. Completely different platform. On demand is like, I'm a self-starter. I'm gonna do it myself and get it done kind of vibe. And the essentials is a structured program. Is this offer still available? No, on demand is closed. It's like, it's gone forever. Yes, you can upgrade from on demand. All you gotta do is easy. Just shoot us an email. Say, I want to upgrade info@idlecourses.com. Shelly, just send us an email. Say, hey, I want to upgrade from on demand to Idle Academy Essentials. Well, it looks like we're just asking questions, so I'll just leave this slide up for us. And I will make sure I'll answer any and all questions that you have. Can you provide examples of the milestones for the VIP program? Okay, so it basically, I can open up the syllabus for you. How about that? I'm just going to answer questions for you now. Just so you know, just the link, www.idlecourses.com/idle academy. Yes, enrollment is available all year. And when you enroll, you get immediate access, and then the cohort starts. The cohort starts 4 times a year, but you can enroll and start immediately, and then, you know, join in when the group is going. All right. You want to see the syllabus? Let me show you the syllabus. I love Canva. You're about to see how much I love Canva. Ooh, the Canva campus is cool too. That's their Canvas campus. Okay. Syllabus. All right, here we go. All right, so this is the syllabus. Everyone will get this syllabus except for the fast track. When you see this syllabus, so week 1 and week 2, like, okay, so the corporate instructional design and the welcome get smushed into 1 week, right? Then, you know, project management and your instructional design foundation, that's a week, right? So basically, instead of 24 weeks of pacing, we're doing 12 weeks of pacing. You're getting, you will actually intern with us. So instead of having to, you know, go to our internship board or finding your own internship or whatever, the fast track actually gets to intern directly with Idle Courses. That also helps move you along faster. We smushed the curriculum into 12 weeks instead of 24. So what usually you would do in 1 week, like in 2 weeks, you now do in 1 week. And this is what the syllabus looks like. If you guys want to see the syllabus, I'll just share a link. You can see it. Anyone can view. There you go. I'll throw it in there. Yes, you can intern with your current employer. Absolutely. I think that's encouraged for sure. That's the easiest way to get an internship. All right. Let me make sure I got other questions in here. I answered that one. Is it necessary to have Idle on Demand and Idle Academy? No, you can be successful in either program. It's just how much structure and support do you need, right? So you're going to get more structure and more support in Idle Academy because it's the upgraded version of On Demand. In every sense of the word. Will you share the best approach to create and sell our own custom courses? As a matter of fact, I don't include that in the academy, but we do include that in the e-learning freelancers bootcamp. I give you a whole Trello board. I go in depth into how to create and sell your own course in the e-learning freelancer bootcamp. It's $150 and it is worth every penny. Let's see. And that's just like a small portion of what you learn in the e-learning freelancer bootcamp. Okay. Is it worth doing non-paid internships for experience? Yes. Yes. I mean, that's like the whole premise of a trade school, right? Because it counts. It counts on your resume. It counts for the employers. It shows in your portfolio because what are you putting in your portfolio? You're putting real projects that you did for a real client in the corporate space, right? In your portfolio, further demonstrating that you have corporate instructional design experience and skills. Good question. So I can start the program tomorrow, but the cohort won't start to April 21st. Will I be held back? No, you're not gonna be held back. There's no due dates. There's no holding back. And even our, suggested weeks are suggestions, but really, like I said, the main due date for you is 12 months. You've got 12 months to do a 24-week program, and it's only 24 weeks if you only have 5 to 10 hours to devote a week. And what I mean by a cohort, right, is like people may not even be on the same. Everyone starts at the same, and that's when all of our live events start. That's when our idle guide sessions start or whatever. It's mostly like that's when the live session starts, but you're put, other than that, like there's nothing that holds you back. If we start with a cohort and life happens, can you join the next cohort? Yeah, but you won't have to. The way that we've set it up is that you will have access to all of the recordings and all of the live sessions that are going on anyway. So if you find that, if life happens, you find like for some reason, but you won't have to get into the next cohort. You'll still have access to everything. Do you need a new computer? No. As long as you don't have a Google Chromebook, right? As long as you can most of our tools are in the cloud, right? The only thing that's not in the cloud is Articulate Storyline. And that requires, a PC unless you do some finagling with your MacBook. But We Are Learning's in the cloud, ELB Learning, Lectora's in the cloud, Dion's in the cloud, Genially's in the cloud. It's all web-based. So as long as you have a fast enough computer that your internet runs fast, you know what I mean? You don't need a new computer. And I wouldn't buy a new computer just for this anyway, because when you go and land your ID job, they're going to give you a computer. They're going to give you all the tools that you need. And that's why, you don't want to go out and spend all that money on Articulate Storyline unless you're going to be a freelancer that's building only in Storyline. And even then, wait till you get the client that wants you to build in Storyline before you pay for it. Okay. if you need a new key for ELB, just send an email to info@idlecourses. We'll get you a new key. I'm trying to finish a Network Plus certification and should be finished by the end of May. So am I looking? It's actually a June cohort. So yeah, Charles, you probably want to join our June cohort. Okay, provide details about the internship. The internship is so that you are getting experience while you're building real portfolio assets at the same time. You can go get your own, right? And just go get a volunteer client that maybe it's the humane shelter, right? Maybe you want to build training for the volunteers at the Humane Society or whatever it is. We have an internal idle job board where I constantly have new companies post internship requests on only for us and only for our students. As a matter of fact, I had a call with Quality Matters today. Maybe many of you have heard of Quality Matters. They are going to be taking on a whole bunch of our interns. The fast track, like I said, idle courses, we will take on you as an intern, and you can intern at your current job, right? If they will let you do an e-learning project or whatever, or instructional design project for them, that counts. So it's very, very flexible, but it is part of the program, right? It's a part of any kind of career school. You have to have some type of internship, externship. Hope that answers your questions. As a newly single mother looking to transition into instructional design, I was a single mother, by the way, when I transitioned, but I'll continue. As a newly single mother looking to transition in instructional design for financial stability and flexibility, what kind of support does Idle Academy offer to help me successfully complete the program? Well, like I said, you get one-to-one support. If you enroll in Idle Academy Plus or Elite, you get one-on-one mentorship the entire 12 months. Look, have you guys gone in? I haven't shown you inside. Let me show you inside. All you have to do is just schedule with your one-on-one, and you can schedule with them every single week. Let's see, I'll show you. We also do a lifetime job placement for all of our graduates. Lifetime job placement support. Let me be clear. All right. Ding, ding, ding. I will show you what it looks like. Okay. All right, here we go. Right here. So all you have to do is go to one-on-one student advisor, and you just book a time. You can book a time with Christopher Wirtz, Elizabeth Campbell, Gretchen Johansson, Amanda McCroskey, and you just pick her thing, and then you can meet with her, right? Meet with her, you meet with her, you meet with Chris, and there you go. Okay, what's the other questions? How does Idle Academy support boop, 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 boop? I think I answered that question. How does it support students in gaining hands-on experience through your internship? Building a strong portfolio. Every single asset that you build is reviewed by a faculty member, right? And your community. And you can have your one-on-one student advisor review it as well. That's how you make sure that every single thing in your portfolio is top notch. That's how when, the hiring manager looks at your portfolio, they're like, yes. That's why our graduates are beating out people with 10, 20 years of experience. Why? Because of their portfolios. Because people with 10, 20 years of experience, they either think that they can get by on just their resume alone, or they haven't updated their portfolio, or they didn't learn new tech and new skills, and you are getting the most up-to-date tech and skills. All right. And also, like I said, it just says anonymous attendee, but like single mama, it's a proud portfolio guarantee. All right. So lifetime job placement support, one-on-ones, and all the things. We really are here to do everything within our power to help you help yourself. Yes, monthly payments are allowed. I just purchased Idle on Demand. I haven't started yet. What benefit am I gaining from Idle on Demand versus waiting and attending Idle once accredited? Well, nothing really changes about a program once it's accredited because it's still, we're accrediting the program that as it is right now. We're fully authorized by the state as a trade school. The accreditation, we can't even get financial aid for another 18 months after you become accredited. And as it is right now, I don't even know if financial aid is going to be a thing. So I don't know, it's not really, I wouldn't wait for it to be accredited because it's going to be the same program, right? We're just going to have a stamp. Uh, do, 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 do. Shelly, copy this and send it to, I don't know why when you log in, it starts on week 2 and Idle on Demand. But the entire menu and the on demand is right there on the left, and you can just start right there at the beginning. Okay. I think I answered that one. Oh, what does it mean that there's lifetime job placement support? It means that as long as we exist and you are a graduate, you can call our phone number and we will help you land your next job. We will look at your resume. We will talk to you about your interviews. We will look at your portfolio. If we, have some people that we can, pass you along to. We've helped literally place people in positions. So that's what we mean by lifetime job placement support. Okay. Oh, Nudriz, if you're looking for ELB learning licenses, you don't get it from ELB Learning, dearest. You get it from us. We will send it to you. So go to info@idlecourses.com and ask for it. That's where you get it from. And you actually should automatically get an email from ELB Learning. So check your spam for your license. Okay, beautiful. Oh, you're in Amsterdam. I'm going there in April. Okay. Did I answer all of your questions? Did I help you out? Did I help you make a decision? If not, send us an email, info courses, schedule a call, just call the number randomly, like whatever it is that you are feeling like you want to do. All those options are available to you. Thank you so much for spending your time with me here this evening. Well, it's my evening. And I also want to let you know, not only do you get all the support in the Academy, but when you're one of our students, you're one of my students, and you will have direct access to me. Just send me a message on LinkedIn, right? And I am always going to be there for you because the vision is not just for people who become our students, right? It is to create an idle world for all learners and to make an impact on this industry. And so whether, you enroll in this program or not, I want to be a part of your idle journey. So thank you again for being here with me, and I hope to see you inside. Bye for now.